Hi everybody, my name is Brian Roberts and I am the MuseScore guru. In this video we're going to talk about looping. This comes as a situation that a student and I came across about how to loop and how to navigate looping through the MuseScore program. So of course we're going to always start off with having pretty much nothing viewable. So it's kind of a barren landscape. I already have the project that we're working on open, but if not, it's just completely blank. So let's say we opened up that file and now we have it. So this is our workstation, and it could be in this view or it could be continuous or whatever. Anyway, he's asking me how to loop. So first of all, you have to make sure that you have the workspace available to you. So we're going to open up workspaces. No, we're going to do toolbars. Under toolbars, we're going to make sure that we have playback controls. So view, toolbars, playback controls. And up here, you'll find some buttons highlighted or not. Whatever, let's just assume nothing is highlighted. From this workspace, workbar, whatever we want to call it, and it can move if you want it to move. You can put it on another screen or whatever. We want to bring our attention to the circular item. And a lot of times with a lot of programs, if you just hover over what the button says, it's going to tell you what it does. So toggle loop back. If you have nothing clicked and you just hit toggle loop, it's going to take... Did you see anything that happened? So at the very beginning of the song, we have a long blue line and a blue arrow. This indicates the beginning of the looping feature. Now, like I said, if you have nothing clicked, nothing highlighted, and you just hit that button, it's going to assume that you mean the entire project. So we have that blue arrow pointing this way, this way, this way, on the score. And if we go all the way to the end, we can do that with a very fun button on the keyboard says end. You hit end, it takes you to the end of the project. And you'll see the opposing arrow at the very end. So essentially what this is going to do is that if you play the song, it'll start from the beginning. It should start from the beginning. Yeah. So it's moving because nothing's playing, you don't hear anything. But now we got some stuff going. So that'll do its thing. I'm just going to zoom ahead and move the highlighter, the section of the song to, let's say, right here. Because I want to show you how it loops back. So here we're at the end. Now it's going to go all the way back to the beginning. So if I hit home, well, I guess I have to do it manually. Yeah, do you see it? I didn't do anything else, I just went back. And so this will loop indefinitely. Okay, I can hit spacebar to stop it all. Now if I hit toggle loop off, and I tried the same thing. So let's say we're right here. It's the end of the song. 3, 4, everything's gonna stop. Yeah, so everything stopped, and you should have noticed that this arrow is no longer engaged, and I haven't done anything, and the cursor has stopped as well. So that's because the loop feature has not been on. Now, where the loop feature really shines is that if you're struggling with a certain section or certain area, you don't need to loop the entire song, you can just loop one little section of it. So the way that we do this is if you just touch a note and hit loop, it doesn't do anything. Okay? So you have to make sure that you have a span of time highlighted. So I think the easiest starting point is just to get a measure highlighted. So I do that by clicking a blank space in between notes. If I click a note, I'm only going to get the note. If I click the rhythm part of it, I'm only going to get the rhythm part. So there is a little bit of fine, motor skills here. But I click in between some stuff and just make sure that I have the measure highlighted. With this measure highlighted, if I hit the playback feature, the loop feature up here, you'll notice that the arrows are now just from here to here, and as a result, it's only going to loop there. So I hit play, and now it's just going to do this indefinitely until I say no more. You get the idea, right? So this is great if you're really trying to work on like one section at a time. But let's say you're trying to work on maybe 2 measures. So what you want to make sure you're doing is highlighting the length of spot that you want. You can undo the loop and then redo it, and you'll notice that the blue arrows are now in between, or on the opposite sides of the area that you want to work at. So now it's going to go further and loop that. Now it'll loop back. So this is great. I mean, you can sit there and just focus on the troublesome section, have this be your, you know, beautiful metronome and training partner. So not only is MuseScore a good tool for transcribing songs, it's a good tool for learning songs and practicing. Okay, now a little bonus tip, let's say this is too fast for where you're currently able to play. You can adjust the tempo by dropping in a tempo marker, and you'll need to have the palettes engaged here. So view palettes, and you're going to go down to tempo and make sure you have a note highlighted. If not, nothing's going to happen. See, it says that red arrow. Nothing's going to happen. So you just have to make sure that, and preferably at the start of the section, because if you do it somewhere in the middle, then it'll change the tempo in the middle, not at the beginning. So anyway, highlight the first note. Just touch it, make sure it's highlighted. Notice that it's blue there. And go over to tempo, and you can either just click it, boom, and then you'll get a tempo there, right? So again, one more time. Keep your eyes over here. I'm going to hit tempo, boom, and now you have it right there. So 80 is actually a bit fast relative to the song, so I had suggested to my student to put it at 50. Now at 50, from these 2 sections, I can just hit play, and it's significantly slower. But this is a great way to be able to practice troublesome sections with MuseScore as your ally. Now, what's also neat about the looping function is that you can actually just loop really small weird sections. So let's say I want to loop from here to here, which I wouldn't recommend this as a practice tool, but it can be done, and in some circumstances it might be the best move. But I'm only kind of in the middle of a portion, but as long as that's highlighted, it'll only do that section. So you can hear how that sounds really janky. It's because it's lopsided. So it can be done if that's what you're looking to do. But I recommend, at least if you did something like that, maybe doing it for complete beats so it's even. So at least that kind of flows a little better. But yeah, it can be done. So whatever section you're working on, just highlight, generally the measures are a great general rule. And make sure that you have the playback controls under the toolbars visible, because if not, you won't be able to adjust anything. So make sure that you have toolbars, playback controls on, and you're going to want to use toggle playback. And also, by the way, that's the metronome. You might want to have that engaged if you're practicing. So there you go. That's how to loop on MuseScore. Probably more than you needed to know, but that's how you do it. If you have any questions about MuseScore, feel free to comment, and I will get back to you with a personalized video. Aloha.